who is Mr. Enrique Viguera. Mr. Enrique Viguera, I already introduced you. Just to repeat briefly, you're the Spanish ambassador for those people who joined lately. You're the Spanish ambassador to the Hellenic Republic, and you have a long-standing knowledge and history, both as ambassador, but also in the energy field and the European Union field, since you were ambassador at large for energy issues in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Spain. So thank you very much, and I hope this time we can go ahead with the sound and technology issues. We are in a session that talks about innovation and technology and hydrogen, and you see technology plays bad tricks sometimes.
Okay, thank you very much, Miguel. I don't know if the sound goes well now. Is it good? Can I be heard?
Yes, we hear you perfectly.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. No, thank you very much for having me once again. This year, I've been participating in this symposium for some years so far, perhaps for the fact that I was ambassador at large for energy affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Spain. So I usually give the Spanish input to it. And as you said, due to my European Union also knowledge and dedication, I can also put forward some ideas about the European Union. But in this particular occasion, I have produced a PowerPoint presentation that I don't know if I can share with you. You have it? Yeah. Here we are. Yes. This is it. So can I change pages? Or you do it for me?
It's on your computer. It's in the server. You have to change because it's in your computer. So
yes. Oh, then I move it. Okay. I can do it. Fantastic.
You can put it on a slideshow if you want. So
fantastic.
Slideshow downstairs and.
Okay, great. I will start by saying that I mean, of course, you as expert all know the importance of green hydrogen that will be absolutely necessary for reaching the EU 2050 full decarbonization target. Now it's legal. By then, some say that it may represent at least 25% of the total world energy demand. So we are better getting prepared for that moment. But the main challenge today is its relatively high cost of production. But estimations are that by 2030, just only in 10 years' time, its price may be half or even more, and could become competitive with fossil fuels. But for this, innovation, investments, and incentives to research and development are essential to accelerate scale economics and the learning curve. In the European Union, I mean, we are very conscious of that. For that reason, we have all embraced the Green Europe idea. And the nitty-gritty of this is the communication by the Commission some months ago about the hydrogen strategy, where it says that regulations and a lot of subsidies may be needed for the installations of electrolyzers for 2024, 6 gigawatts, and 40 gigawatts in 2030. We are lately hearing that the target of reducing CO2 emissions by 2030 may become also compulsory if legislation may be approved by the European Council before the end of this year during the German presidency. I think that if this is done together with the 2050 full decarbonization idea. This may be a big legal incentive for the European Union as a whole, and also for member countries to foster green hydrogen production. So, but of course, we will be needing a lot of money for that. The European Union says that, or the Commission says that it will put forward from 5 to 30 billion euros through the new Innovation Fund for the next 10 years. But of course, this is not too much money comparable with, say, almost 500 billion euros in private and public investments that we may be needing to increase the capacity in hydrogen production by 2050. Of course, Spain was very much prepared to follow suit, and it seems that the Spanish Ministry for Industry was waiting for the communication to see the light to launch its own strategy. We also had in July 2020 our hydrogen roadmap for public consultation, with the objective, say, immediate term, to prepare the regulatory framework and also promote research and innovation in this particular field. But also in the medium term, for 2030, ensure the an installed capacity of 4 gigawatts of electrolyzers. This is represent, roughly speaking, 10% of the EU total, and some other issues concerning the green hydrogen production. But for this, it is estimated that we will needing 9 billion euros of public and private investments plan until 2050. I think that there may be other incentives, so commercial incentives that may not be needing subsidies. It may come back in terms of commercial revenues eventually. But this is part of the just transition in our case, because Spain has committed, like most of the member countries, to give away with old fuels, coal mines, cement plants, coal-fired power plants, including nuclear power plants. By 2030-35, I think Spain will give away with all the 6 nuclear plants or 7 nuclear plants we have today in Spain, fully operational. So this may represent a big impulse, really. We have a different side on the green hydrogen production, which is the green hydrogen transmission. And apart from the production, Spain and particularly Enagas, with whom whose CEO I had the opportunity to talk in the last few days concerning this issue, particularly. I mean, he is very much engaging in Greece as well, because as you know, Enagas is in DESFA and also in TAP, and he is very much engaged in what's going on in Greece in terms of also gas and gas development. So he was very open in telling me that Enagas is fully committed towards green hydrogen, and a part of running several production units, which some of them will be shown later on, as a network, and due to its geographical location and availability of resources and infrastructure, we are very much committed that Spain may become also a gateway for green hydrogens to Europe, to Central Europe. This is a matter that will not come alone. Spain, Enagas has been working with SNAM, the Italian gas network operator, in order to make sure that the sufficient investments will be there in order to bring the necessary green hydrogen needed for Central Europe demand. Nowadays, we have, like Italy, a very good network, but it is considered that still, only in Spain, it will be needed between 27 billion and 74 billion euros, which is not that much, considering the importance of the new technology. For the adaptation, and Enagas will take into account not only the network it has, but also the network of LNG terminals, which is the most complete in Europe, as you all know, and also the storage capabilities that today we have, apart from the pipeline in use. For this reason, SNAM and Enagas have presented a project called Green Crane Project, which is now a candidate for project of special interest of the European Union, by which the intention is to bring all this into reality, to turn Spain as well as Italy as an export green hydrogen hub to the rest of the continent. Well, to do this, we'll need also to put into operation some green electrolysis plants that have been constructed in Asturias, País Vasco, Castilla y León, several units that Enagas is working on alone or with other partners in order to try to get the renewable electricity generation needed, in principle, 2 gigawatts from wind and solar, from this joint venture between SNAM and Enagas. One of them will be 1 gigawatt within Spain, and the green hydrogen production will be 1.9 gigawatts. From it, 0.4 will come from Spain. Well, this is the network. Let me just pass very briefly to some concrete examples of units of green hydrogen production that have been operational, almost operational in Spain. The first one I want to share with you is the one existing in Mallorca, which is actually the largest green hydrogen plant, 10 megawatts in Europe, but intended for transportation fuel. So this is really pioneer in Spain. Also, the local authorities in Mallorca are very much involved, and the cost of the project is 50 million euros, which will provide full production in a plant by next year, 2021, basically to supply vehicles with sustainable energy, both public buses, but also private fleet, rent-a-cars, courtesy vehicles, and so on, in a very substantial territory of the main island, Mallorca. The idea, of course, is that if it works, we can launch this triangle to the whole island and subsequently to the whole Balearic Islands. According to the development, of course, it could be a very interesting precedent for islands elsewhere. I mean, since I'm here in Greece, I know the importance of what would it mean to have the possibility to produce green hydrogens locally, and then the possibility of distributing green hydrogen to the vehicles that circulate through the islands. So this is a project which looks very, very much interesting. Another one, this is by Iberdrola. You know that Iberdrola is also present here in Greece. It is, I think, the fourth or the fifth most important renewable energy company in Greece right now. It's present all over the world. And now Iberdrola has started a very interesting project together with Fertiberia, which is a company which is manufacturing fertilizers right in the center of Spain, in Puerto Llano and Ciudad Real, investing 150 million euros to build a green hydrogen plant with a 100 megawatts photovoltaic solar plant, then a lithium-ion battery system with a storage capacity of 20 megawatts, and one electrolytic hydrogen production system. So they will be producing green hydrogen that will be used, the whole production, at Fertiberia ammonia plant to manufacture particularly green fertilizers. This is another use of green hydrogen production on the spot. And the last one is example that I want to share with you is the one that will be taking place in port of Bilbao by Repsol. Very much involvement also with the local municipal authorities of the Basque Country, which is 60 million euros Repsol Petronor, which is also associated with Repsol, investment for a combined plant, 10 megawatts green hydrogen, which will be used to produce synthetic fuels, 10,000 liters a day, approximately. And it will also include a carbon capture project and a fuel from waste plants that are also in that part of the port of Bilbao. I will also emphasize that it is very, very important also the engagement of the local authority of this pioneer example. So you see, perhaps Spain is not at the level of some other European Union partners like Germany, for example, or France, but the matter has been taken very, very seriously. And there are projects here or there that are combining different technologies in order to produce green hydrogen and not leaving any footprint into the atmosphere. So last but not least, and this reminds me very much of the discussion we had 10 or 15 years ago about renewable energy, when renewable energy was becoming more competitive than fossil fuels, which is a reality today. And by then it was just a matter of almost science fiction. Today, the discussion is when green hydrogen may be competitive vis-a-vis other types of hydrogen, the green hydrogen, the natural gas, or some other fossil fuels. And as I said before, I think that the matter of making obligatory targets, it's a very positive issue to force member countries and legislators and regulators to try to foster innovation and research and development in Europe. Of course, some people say that if the cost of emitting CO2 to the atmosphere become more and more expensive, it would further boost the possibility of investors to go into the production of green hydrogen production. So now I was an apostle 15 years ago of renewable energy. I'm still are. And of course, nowadays regarding green hydrogen, I think it has taken also the post, so to speak, of renewable energy, and maybe become really the solution of the decarbonization we are all wanting for 2050. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. It's very interesting to see some of the Spanish examples that are in production or near to be in production. In fact, there was a huge announcement also yesterday of a 1,000 million euro new plant in Huelva by Iberdrola. So
wow.
So it's in Huelva. So it seems that the regulatory movements are making its impact in Spain. So I don't know if you would you be able to stay at the end for the questions?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for this interesting presentation on and also for the outlook, because many European countries have islands. So not only Greece, I guess Italy has also some islands. So for these examples that could be used in different contexts and could be applicable to different countries. So